Do you think you know what goes on in the mind of a typical teenager? But what happens when a 13-year-old boy gets involved in a shocking crime? And the scariest part, it wasn't just him. There's an entire generation being shaped by dangerous ideas. The series Adolescence may be fiction, but what's behind it is chillingly real. The show follows Jamie Miller, a boy who seems harmless, quiet, introverted, with social difficulties, until his schoolmate is found dead. Throughout the episodes, the narrative shows his life and reveals something much bigger, a hidden world of online communities where teenagers are taught to hate women, hate themselves, and hate the world. These communities aren't a script invention. They exist. We're talking about forums where thousands of young people share hate theories, glorify people who have committed extreme acts, and treat aggression as a form of social rebellion. There's a network of content known as the manosphere, a sort of digital ecosystem where groups claim to reveal the truth about women. And if you think this is an exaggeration, in recent years, several real-life incidents have been directly linked to members of these groups. In 2014, the most emblematic case, Elliot Rodger, a 22-year-old, was responsible for an attack that resulted in 6 lives lost in California before taking his own life. Rodger left a video saying he was being punished for being rejected by women. He also wrote a manifesto of over 100 pages, detailing his hatred, frustrations, and plans. The attack was carefully planned and involved various forms of violence. He was already receiving psychiatric care. Still, in certain online spaces, he began to be idolized. Today, he's called Saint Elliot by some members of these forums. In 2018, Alec Manassian was responsible for another attack that resulted in 10 lives lost in Toronto when he drove into pedestrians in broad daylight. Before the act, he posted on social media. During his interrogation, Manassian said he wanted to start a rebellion and was inspired by Rodger's actions. He was active in forums and used these platforms to share radical thoughts. He was sentenced to life in prison in 2021, with no chance of parole for 25 years. Another key point in the series is how it shows the impact of content consumed online by teenagers. Throughout the story, we see characters being influenced by ideas that at first seem harmless, but gradually reveal radical behaviors. The show demonstrates how dangerous online content can affect teenagers' mental health, spreading frustration, rejection, and a distorted view of the world around them. These aren't openly radical discourses, but behaviors that shape silently and create a sense of hatred and contempt, especially directed at those around them. And this kind of content doesn't only exist in fiction. In real life, videos with similar messages circulate freely on social media and accumulate millions of views, especially among teenagers. In the series, these ideas spread like a virus among Jamie's schoolmates. In real life, it's happening too. But Adolescence isn't just a show about juvenile crimes. It's a warning. It shows what happens when the system fails to identify warning signs, when parents can't see what their children are consuming online, and when the internet becomes the primary emotional educator of a generation. According to experts, most young people involved in these forums start interacting out of curiosity or loneliness. They feel rejected, excluded, or confused, and they find in these groups a community that welcomes them. But instead of support, they receive anger, frustration, and dangerous ideas. Maybe Jamie Miller doesn't really exist, but many like him already do. And maybe the biggest question the show asks us is it still possible to prevent the next real-life case? If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel for more real stories behind films and series. And let me know in the comments, do you think this type of content can really influence a teenager?